Hi, welcome to Oz Mining. This is an update video following on from my last one where I'm going to be using this Shelly OnePlus remote Wi-Fi device to power on my mining rigs, and that's going to be combined with using the HiveOS scheduler function, so I can automatically have my rigs going on and off in line with my solar panels, which generate around 20 kilowatts an hour, and I want to basically mine all day while the sun is shining, and then the rigs will switch off overnight. And essentially what I'm going to be doing is, with my free power that I am generating, is mine at 100% profit. So this video is going to be reasonably succinct and focus on just connecting up this Shelly OnePlus device with the appropriate wiring to then get this on the rig and up and running. So let's just kick off. Let's get into it. So what I've got here is I've got the Shelly OnePlus. I brought this on, I think it was eBay, might have been Amazon, but I think it was eBay for around 20 something Oz dollars. I'll put the link in for that in below. I've also got a 6 to 8 pin power cable, which yeah, I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to chop up a little bit and get it connected, so I won't be able to use this as a standard 6 pin to 8 power connector going forward. Then I've got a motherboard on-off switch here as well, which I'm going to modify. And just for, I guess, setup purposes, I've got a breakout board here. I will be connecting this setup into my breakout board on my mining rig, but I thought I'd just have this here just to sort of show you how it's going to work. So let's kick off. And if I just show you here as well, this is a GPU power connector, I guess, diagram to show you what all of the connectors do. So if you look here, let's just zoom in a little bit, you see here, you've got this power connector here. It's defined the top little bit, if you can see over here, is shown on the top. And then if you get really close, let me see if I can zoom in there. All of these connectors do actually have slightly different sizes. So let me just come down here and zoom into this. So you'll see here, and orientating the connector the right way with that little clip on top. They've all got different things, it's coded here, but they're also shaped differently as well. So it's quite easy to make sure you've got it orientated around the right way. Just look at the shapes at the end of the connectors, and you'll see some are square, some are kind of slightly clipped off on the side there. So you can definitely identify which is the right connectors, so you don't sort of get confused. So what we're going to be doing, and you know, again, as with all 6 to 8 pin power connectors, you always want to make sure you've got your end in the right part. So what I'm actually going to do first, let me put this, the 6 pin end into the breakout board. That's a good way to set up. Then if I look at, and I was playing around with it, I've already pulled out one of the wires that I'm going to be needing. But if I show you here, I'm now going to orientate this 6 pin power connector the same as this diagram here. And I know for the Shelly OnePlus wiring, what do I need? I need this connector here, which is the ground, and this connector here, which is the plus 12 volts. So I need to remove these two end ones here. So if I slightly orientate that round, I need these two end ones here. So look around this way. So it will be these two on this end. Now, I'm sure there's a trick to getting these out. I was trying to just get it out, but I actually pulled it out, but it's fine. To be honest, you could just clip this off with a pair of wire cutters, or you could just try and yank it out. I'm going to leave the rest of that piece in there. I guess I'm going to leave all this, the rest of the wiring in there. I guess you could take out the wiring, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave the rest of the wiring in there, keep it all safe, and it will just sort of hang by the side. I guess if you want to be really neat, you could get rid of all the other wiring, but for now, I'm just going to keep the rest of the wires into the like the plastic connector unit. So let's get out the other connection. I think I'll just yank it out. It's funny, when you don't want these to fall out, they tend to fall out pretty easily. And when you do want to get them out, it's pretty tricky. I always thought by sticking something in there, I'm sure there's like a little metal latch that sort of releases it. It will sort of pull it out. Anyway, I don't know. Just going to yank it. There we go. So there we go. So now I've got my yellow and my black cables, which are basically these two here, which have come out easy to identify. One's black, which is the top one, and one is yellow. So yeah, the black one goes in the top there, and the yellow. You can also see as well, they are all, like the other two yellow ones are down there. So I know that the yellow one, 3 in a row, was the ones down there. So I'm going to put that to one side. Again, maybe I should pull out the rest of these. I don't know. I think for now I'm just going to leave them in there together. I might just sort of, maybe I'll put like a little loop on them or something. Yeah, I might take them out later, but for now I'm just gonna leave them in there. They're not really doing any harm. So what I'm going to be doing on here now, I'm going to be using one of these. These are, let's go over here and have a look. These are terminal connectors, and there's lots of different varieties. You can, again, pick these up on eBay for nothing, like 10 bucks. I think I might have paid about 10, 12 bucks, and you also get this little cool crimping tool as well. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the smallest ones, which is, I'll show you here, it's these ones here, 22 AWG, 0.5 mil, 200 pieces in there, which is great. And what we're going to be doing then, we're going to be putting these on the end of these two cables here, and then what we'll be doing, that will be then going into the Shelly 1 Plus. So I think the first thing I want to do is just tidy these up a little bit. So I'm going to be using my wire strippers here and just doing a little bit of cleaning up. I think what I'll do as well, I will also just clip that off so it's nice and tidy. So let's just clip that whole thing off nice and neat. There we go. It's just nice and neat clipped off. And then we will just take, I think, around about 1 centimetre. So I think I'll be using the smallest one, try and keep it under view for you. So let's try and strip that off, spin that around. Beautiful, look at that. Nice and neat. And we give that the good old fashioned twist there as well. Now what I might do, I'm doing this for the first time, so we might need to adjust our skills, is got that there, give it like a little twist to get it all tightened up. And let's have a look now at getting one of these little white terminal connectors on there. Again, you want to make sure all the wires are going to, you want to make sure that no wires come back out and bend around back out. You want a nice, clean, safe connections. So you can see in there's like a little hole. Try and thread that in there. Beautiful. That's going really nice. A little bit sticking out at the end actually. So I think on my next run, and let's just do it now. So you can see here, look, there's a little bit sticking out. Let's try and get a bit more than I want. So I just need to trim that back a little bit. Easy to do. And what I do is on my next one, I will just make it a little bit shorter when I do it. So let's just clip that off a little bit there. Oh, I'm using the wrong bit. Just clip. There you go. Nice. So I've just shortened that down a little bit. Give that a nice little twist again. Beautiful. Right, so let's try and put that back in there again. So again, nice and twist it up so it's nice and tight. Put it into there. Still coming out just a fraction actually. I think that'd be okay. So there we go. That's come out nicely. So now, this is the first time I've actually done this. We're going to be getting this nice little device here, which is the connector crimper, and just putting that onto the end. Oh, I'm going to go a little lower. You know, so I'm going to hold that there, gently squeezing around and giving it a little squeeze now. All right, so okay, that's pretty good. Look at that. You see it's just got the little bits around it where it's just crimped it in. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Oh, I say that and it came off. Yeah, not quite. So what I'll do, I won't really use that one. I think, and it's good to test this out. I'm going to do a little bit more pressure on the second one. So I've got 200 of these. So let's just, again, let's push it into there. Beautiful. And we'll do it. And I think what I might do, I'll just do it the full pressure this time. So I was a little bit worried about, again, here we go, let's do it that way so you guys can see. So there's there. Cool, it's on. Cool, all right. That's really nice. I might just do one more just to be sure. That feels nice and solid. Look at that. Beautiful. So that end's done. One's done. So we're going to do exactly the same with this one now. Again, I'm not going to speed any of this up. I'm just going to do it real time. So if you want to speed things up, feel free. But I thought let's just do it real time, live for you guys. No camera tricks. Beautiful. So that's gone up into the piece there. And we'll now get our cool little tool out. Push that down. Give it a nice squeeze. I think I'm going to squeeze it twice. I feel like doing the double squeeze was the winner. Oh, that's really nice and tight. Brilliant. All right, so look at this, guys. We're making good progress. We've got the black and the white now with our two white connectors from the connector kit, and that's ready. So this is basically going to be power coming into the Shelly. So where this goes now, and let's try and zoom that in for you. So I'm now going to be putting, so this is quite well laid out this. So if you look over here, the yellow is the plus 12 volt. So if you look over here, we're now going to be putting the plus 12 volt into here. And then the ground one, which you can see that symbol there for ground, will go into this one that says L next to it. So yellow in here, black in here. Let's just do that. And they're in the terminals. They're nice and snug. So if we go over here, the yellow is going to go into the plus 12 volts. And let me see if this, I think this is open. I haven't touched these out of the box, so, oh yeah, I can see the screws. So let's put the yellow into here. Let's screw it down. Nice, that's in there. I'm going to get a slightly wider one and just put it there. That's nice and snug, beautiful. Beautiful. And then we're going to get the black one. So you see the yellow one now is in the plus 12 volts. The black one's going to go into the ground. That's in there again, nice and snugly. Screw that down. That is nice and solid, a little bit tighter. Yeah, that is totally in there. Beautiful, look at that. So what have we done so far? We've taken our breakout board, and I'm going to be using a breakout board which is connecting to a separate PSU, where we've then now cut off the two ends we need from our 8-pin power connector end, normally going to a GPU, and then the yellow goes into the plus 12 volts, and the black goes into the L, which is essentially the ground for the purpose of this device. All right, well, that's phase one done. Brilliant. Phase two now. So that's going to be then generating power to go into our Shelly 1 Plus, which is then going to allow us to remotely control what this unit does. What we're then going to be doing is telling this unit to switch my mining rig off. Sorry, apologies, switch it on. We're going to be using Hive OS to switch it off. So again, this can switch on and off, but I'm going to be using it just to do the switch on every morning when the sun rises. So now we're going to be using this motherboard on-off switch. So here, this bit will go into the motherboard as usual. We're now going to be modifying this end, which is the switch end. So similar as what we did before, we just need to cut these ends off. So let's use my pliers here. Goodbye manual switch. Hello fancy new high-tech remote switch. I think I'm just going to cut it down here. There we go. There we go. So the wire's just been. I'm going to be doing just exactly the same as what we did. I'm going to be using the smallest ones again, which is the white ones. So I'm going to strip off just under a centimetre. So we go here. Ooh, cool. So I've done that. And what I'll do, let's just do it both at the same time. We'll now get our red one. So just under a centimetre. Oh. There we go. Oh. This is a very thin wire. So let's go there. Just under a centimetre. Spin that around. Crumbs, that's actually so thin, it's actually quite hard to... I need a one of these with even a smaller gauge. Let's try and cram that really tight. Oh, almost got it. Oh, fail. Oh dear, okay, I need to do this one again. So I just took off a little bit too much then. So let's do this because we need it both even. Let's just remove that. See, it's not all perfect. And again, I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to do it live. I'm just going to recut these off at the same point. Seems like the red wire was almost a little bit thinner than the black wire. So let's try and get the red one done first. That looks pretty good. So that's a very, very thin wire. I'm just going to have to make sure when I do this one, we really get it into the connector and it's crimped down nicely. So yeah, that's actually quite good. I'm quite happy with what I've done there. Let's do the black one now. Hopefully that's as easy as the one we did a minute ago. Spin it around. Oh, it wasn't. So I think I just got lucky on the last one. We'll get there. Oh, almost got it. We'll challenge this. Again, if I'm doing this again, I'm going to probably have to find a wire strippers which are even smaller gauge than these current ones. So I've almost got it there. There we go. Very, very fine. So you see there, I've got the two end bits done. I'm now going to bring this over the top. I'm just going to give it a little twist. Well, one concern with this, the wire is so fine. I just need to make sure I really do get some good grip on that. But anyway, let's see how this goes. Let's get my connector. Yeah, that is struggling to grip. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to strip a little bit longer off and bend it over just to get a little bit thicker wire inside the terminal, because at the moment that is super skinny, and even with crimping that up, didn't quite do enough. And you know, we obviously need this to be safe and we need it to stay on the thing. Yeah, that's proven quite a little challenge. All right, I just took a quick 2-second break because I actually needed to just move this camera that's here and use both hands. And what I did is I actually used the end of the wire stripper here very carefully without actually going into the metal bit of the wire, and I just stripped off what I need. So what I've done here now is I've just stripped off almost like double length now, so sort of closer to 1.5 centimeters. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to bend this cable back a little bit just to create that extra thickness that I need to go up into the pin, which then, so if you see there, look, I've just bent that over, and I'm going to do, and then actually I'll do one at a time. So now that I've done that, I'm now going to be using this to thread the slightly thicker wire up into the connector there, and then we'll be cramping that on. And what I'm going to do, just that nice and tight, and I'll do it twice. Yeah, that's actually feeling really solid now. So what makes a big difference, just putting a double thickness wire up into there. So I'm going to do exactly the same, just carefully bend that over. There we go, beautiful. Just doing it very carefully there. So the wire's now double bent over. And we'll get another one of the white connectors. Just feed it up in there. You can feel it goes in nice and snug. And exactly the same again. We'll get our little tool here really tight. And I'm going to do it twice. Just move the angle around. And just do it twice. There we go. Lovely. Give a little tug. Make sure it's on tight enough. Brilliant. There we go. We persevered and we've done it. So again, I've got the motherboard end of the switch. You can see it says the power switch. and there's our new connector we've done. So let's go back down to the Shelly. So what we're going to be doing out of here now is I'm going to be putting the red one into the 1. So the red one into the 1, and just screwing that down like we did with the power cables. There we go, just screwing that in, beautiful. And then we'll take the black one and we'll put it into the 0. There we go. Switch it down and in, nice and tight again. And we'll get the other red one, nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. Beautiful. That is all connecting really lovely. So let's have a look. So we have our server PSU breakout board. We've taken the 2 cables that we needed per our diagram, which is the black and the yellow, which is our ground and 12 volt. We've put the 12 volt yellow into the 12 volt per the Shelly 1 Plus, and the black into the ground. We've then modified our power cable into our mining rig motherboard. We've put red into the 1 and black into the 0, and that will plug into other motherboards. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this little contraption down to the mining garage. I'm going to actually remove this bit here. Easy to take out there. Yeah, brilliant. So I'm going to take this contraption here that we've created down to the mining garage. I do think, look, I'm going to test this out. Let's get it tested up and running. She goes, I might actually take out the rest of these wires, and we don't need this for anything. So I think that might be a little tweak I'll do. But I think let's get this up and tested, make sure it's working. I'll show you guys, you know, how it all works. I'm just going to give these a little wiggle, make sure nothing comes out. It's good, so it sort of passes the test there. Yeah, so there's the finished piece. I'll just show you close up there if you need to. And I'll actually just show you with that wiring diagram there as well. There you go. So you can just see that. Yeah, let's go down to the mining garage and let's plug this in, and yeah, let's see how it goes. Chat soon. Okay team, we are down in the mining garage now, and I've brought down the Shelly that we just wired up. So what I've done here is I have firstly got this server PSU here. This is plugged into the power, and it is actually separate from this rig that I have here. So this PSU is independently powered, and I will switch it on in a minute, and that is literally, that can go on and off independently of the mining rig. And that's pretty important, because if you connect the Shelly to any power that's connected with the rig, when the rig's off, the Shelly will lose power, and the Shelly won't have any power then to, you know, fire it back up and then allow you to use the functionality of the Shelly. So this is, I guess, a really key step with connecting the Shelly up to powering mining rigs remotely, is it needs to have its own independent power supply, and a server PSU is a perfect way to do that. So we've got the server PSU plugged into the power. That I've then got a breakout board here, as you can see, and I've plugged that end of the cable coming from the Shelly into the server PSU breakout board, and that's the end that then goes into the power parts of the Shelly. You can see over there, let me just zoom in a little bit there. So that's going in, you can see as we wired upstairs, the yellow and the black going to the 12 volts, and then the ground there. So the black's in the ground, the yellow's into the 12 volts, and then that just comes into the 6-pin there that we wired up following the diagram that we looked up in the mining office earlier. So that's that side of the Shelly plugged into the power side. I've then taken the power cable across to my motherboard, and you can probably just about see that, zoom in. That's then into the motherboard, the normal on-off switch. So I've taken out the manual switch. So here's the manual switch that we had there. That's been disconnected, and I've then now plugged in that side of the Shelly. So in theory, that is the circuit there. The Shelly is independent, and I have already actually tested this, and I did have a few issues with the Shelly. I was really struggling how to make the switch work. But look, let's just do a quick test and see if this works. So what I'm going to do first, I've had this powered off, but as soon as I get this up and running, I will not be switching off this server PSU, but I've just had it off as I've been waiting to do this video. So let's do the first step here. Let's put the server PSU on. There, it's firing up. Now I'm not going to be switching this off again unless I'm actually shutting down the rig for a period of time. I'm not going to be mining. So that server PSU is now on, and that will be now powering up the Shelly switch. The Shelly switch won't be doing anything with my rig until I tell it to. Now, if you're following me at home and setting this up, what you're going to want to do then is actually download the Shelly app on your phone. So I thought what I'd do very quickly is I do have another phone here, and I've put the Shelly app onto this phone so I can just show you. Now, look, I'm not going to do a how-to on how to set up the Shelly app. It's actually really straightforward. Download the app from the iStore or Google Play. Let me just change the angle of that so it's not so glary. Let's put it up there. There we go. Cool. So yeah, you download the app. You just basically follow the instructions. You basically, once you power it on your Shelly, it will actually automatically identify your Shelly. You put in your local network Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi password, and it basically just finds your Shelly. And you can sort of set the room, so you can set the room, let me just zoom in a little bit there so you can see it. So you can set the room, so I've called this the mining garage naturally. And you can see there, look, that we've got the Shelly 1 Plus, and I've called it, I've just given it some other name, like it's the top rig with a mix of 3070s, so that's my rig with a mix of 3070s there. And it basically will configure it, identify the Shelly, and then you can start actually activating the Shelly and, you know, switching things on and off, setting up some schedules. Now, I haven't actually done any of the scheduling yet. What you do need to do, and this is really, really important now when you do your Shelly, is there's not many, and I'll just zoom in a little bit better for you. There's not actually many things that you need to, there we go. There's not many things you need to configure the Shelly out of the box, but the one thing you do need to do is go into settings. Then you need to go to, here we go, input output settings, and you need to make some choices around, are you going to be using it as a button or a switch? So I'm using mine as a button, and initially I actually set this up with a button. I worked out the action that I needed to mimic the switch of a PC. A motherboard switch was a momentary switch, and if you read it there, it's push on or push for off. So that's basically, you push it once and put it on, you push it off, it'll go off. So I'm like, great, let's do that. And there is another setting here, which is what you want your relay to do, the Shelly device power. So you can set it so the Shelly device turns on when it has power, it turns off when it has power, or you can restore the last mode it was in. I'm actually gonna change that and save. I want to just keep that in the last mode it was in. So if I do get a power cut, it's going to just keep it in the last mode it's in. So that's how I'm going to set that for now. Now going back to this, I set that up, and when I fired up the rig, it put the rig on, and very quickly it switched the rig off. And it was really frustrating. I tried it several times, and I actually got worried that maybe I'd done something wrong, didn't read the instructions, and you know, I could potentially be damaging my rig or something. Why would it switch it on and straight off again? Maybe it was putting some power or something through to the motherboard, which I know actually the Shelly doesn't actually deliver any power. It just creates a switch which is disconnected from the actual power going into the Shelly device. But I was really puzzled with it. So I actually spent a lot of time Googling, going to different forums to figure out, you know, should I be using a switch? Should I be using a detached switch or an edge switch? There's all the different variables there. I really couldn't figure it out. And, you know, I followed the video from Chump Change, and amazing video, but I couldn't actually find any, I guess, sort of settings around how to set the switch up properly. Now, what I kind of figured out myself, and what I actually did, and, you know, this is why I love mining, I thought it was time to do some problem solving. So what I did, I actually got a voltmeter, and I put that actually into the Shelly. So I actually put it into the output connections of the Shelly, because I just wanted to see, when I was pressing the switch here, what was it actually doing? And I used this, I think it's ohms or something. I didn't use, obviously it's not going to output any volts. I just wanted to check this here to see was it creating a, I guess a connection or not. It basically showed me what the switch was doing. Now, when I then connected it and I pressed the button on the Shelly, so just going back here, so when I was then pressing the button on the Shelly, I was getting the output here, and it was basically just switching it on and leaving it on. And I was like, well, that wasn't meant to happen. It was meant to switch it on, and my understanding was then switch it off, because these switches here basically do, you push it in, it pops out. So it does a switch on, the switch pops out, but it leaves the motherboard on. And when you want to switch it off, it's like on a spring. You press it in, it pops out, and it switches it off. But from what I could see on the settings that I had, it was just switching on. Whatever I did, it was basically, I guess, connecting the circuit. It was staying on, open or closed. You know, it was just leaving it, the connection going. So what I then figured was, well, if it's leaving it on, I saw this section here, which was the timer. So let me just zoom in again. So, and I just played around with this. So I thought, because that was actually set to 60 seconds. So what I actually just had to play around with is, and I tried it, do auto on. I actually did auto off. So if you see here, let me just zoom in there so you can see a little bit better. And this was basically the key to figuring all this out. So what I did is I actually set this to 1 second. So what it did is when I hit the switch, it put the switch on. After 1 second, it switched the switch was switched off kind of thing. And basically it worked perfectly. So that's my tip, and that's the one thing I can share with you. If you want it to mimic a PC motherboard on-off switch, what you need to do is set it as button, set it as momentary button, but then you need to set it as the, and this is what I've landed on at the moment, was do it auto off for 1 second. So thank you, multimeter. It was quite simple to work out what the problem was then. I've changed my settings as I showed you there. Now what that means then, if we just come out of these settings, and I'll try and show you right sort of fly by wire here, is if we then go to the app here, so if we go to the app, so if I go to switch it on, and let me just zoom out, let's hit the switch here, and look at that, the rig fires up beautifully. So it does a 1 second switch. It's basically mimicking, flicking that in for a second. Again, it might work for half a second, maybe for 2 seconds. There's probably a limit to when that switch needs to basically be going on and off. But I've just done 1 second and it's working perfectly. So that rig is fired up, and that basically will start mining now. So really good outcome. Now, as I explained to you early in the video, the way I'm going to be combining this Shelly switch with basically mining while my solar panels are active is I'm going to be using every morning, I'm going to set a schedule. So I've done this manually at the moment, so I've been using this button here manually just to get things up and running, test it, make sure it's working. So every morning at a predetermined time, and it's probably going to be about 7 AM when the sun starts shining and my 20 kilowatts of solar panels start firing up and delivering my mining garage with lots of beautiful free energy, so I can mine and basically mine for 100% profit. Then I'm going to be doing it all day, and I'm going to be then setting a predetermined switch off on this rig. But I'm actually going to be using Hive OS's feature then to shut down the rig, and that's going to happen at a predetermined time. I'll probably say about 6 PM. It doesn't need to be perfect. You know, if I'm mining a little bit on the grid cost of electricity, that's fine. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just need, you know, 90% of the day when I'm mining to be mining with all the free energy I've got from the solar panels. So I'm going to be, let's say essentially for 12 hours a day. I'll switch it on, let's just say 7 AM. I'll switch it off at 7 PM. 12 hours of mining, 100% profit, you know, for 90% of the time. The reason I'm going to be using Hive OS to switch off the rig is because I want a softer shutdown that's being managed by Hive OS, and I feel like we'll be a little bit kinder to the rig and the GPUs, as opposed to a hard boom, hit that switch. It might, whether it makes a difference or not, I just feel personally that's what I would rather do. So that's basically the plan. I will do another video and I'll actually set up the scheduling. I will show you how I'm going to work that and set up in Hive OS. So that will be another video I'll do shortly. But I just wanted to show you how we've got the hardware wired up, how we've connected with an independent server PSU, and then I've still got my rig running on the independent, still running then on ATX PSUs and also other server PSUs which are actually connected to to the rig. But yeah, I just wanted to share how that all works. And my next step now is going to be, well, I'm going to get this one set up now to schedule, and I'll show that next video, turning on with the Shelly application and doing a schedule, switching off on Hive OS and just doing that every day, doing that routine. Then my next steps will be, I'm going to start to build some more Shelly Wi-Fi switch devices and do all for my other rigs. And I'll basically be setting up all the rigs to switch on and off at predetermined times so we can mine for that, I guess, 100% profit, which is our target that we're trying to do here at the moment. So yeah, so thanks for watching. I will bring you the next update video very shortly. But look, this is a really good update here, really good breakthrough in terms of achieving what we set out to do, which is to use these smart devices to power our rigs so we can mine for 100% profit. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're all well. I'd love to hear anyone else's stories that they've got around using this kind of technology, I guess, to mine more efficiently, and particularly in this bear market. Yeah, please leave your comments below, and yeah, appreciate all the feedback as usual. Have a great day, and we'll bring you another episode on the Oz Mining YouTube channel really shortly. Thanks for watching.